Hi there, my name is Vic Veer. I'm an ENT surgeon working for the NHS in central London, and today I want to tell you about why you should not have a perforation or a hole in your eardrum fixed in certain situations. Now, so you understand this properly, I'm going to explain what the eustachian tube is used for. Some of you already know this, so please just skip ahead. But the eustachian tube is a tube that runs from your nose to your ear. So when you go like this, on an aeroplane, because you're going up and your ear isn't equalized and the pressure is different on each side, you're blowing like this, you're forcing air into the area behind your eardrum. I'll put some diagrams up here as well. You're trying to put air behind your eardrum so the atmospheric pressure is the same on both sides. That's really useful, and that's what the eustachian tube is used for, because if the eardrum is sucked in or pushed out, you can't hear very well because you need the eardrum to move normally so you can hear normally. It's a bit like getting a normal drum and filling it up with water or something, or putting lots of pressure on the other side. The drum doesn't work as well. The tone is not right, so you can't hear quite as well. Same thing happens on an aeroplane or if you get a glue ear or other things like that. But anyway, in some situations, either because of infection of the nose or some problem in the back of the nose, you can get a blockage of the eustachian tube. So that tube isn't working anymore. You can no longer pop your ears. You can't get air to go into that space. When that situation happens, the fluid, the mucus that's created behind your eardrum, what we'd call the middle ear space, that carries on making mucus, but it's got nowhere to go. It doesn't go down the eustachian tube and down the back of your throat. It gets stuck in that space and slowly fills up. And if you look in someone's ear, you can see the fluid levels slowly rising if you just watch this happen as a doctor. So as this fluid level goes up, you can't hear quite as well. Everything crackles when you try and pop your ears if you can get any air in at all. But normally you just can't hear very well. Typically, the cold or flu that you had, eventually after 4 or 5 days gets better, and the eustachian tube, that tube starts working again, all that fluid drains away. But there are some situations where that tube carries on not working very well. It typically happens when you're on an aeroplane or something like that, and you've got a flu at the same time. For some reason, that seems to spark this problem off. And it can last up to about 3 months, this eustachian tube dysfunction thing, which I talk about in some other videos. But in this situation, that tube stays blocked for a long time. The ear, the middle ear, the area behind the eardrum fills up with fluid and you can't hear very much at all. Now, if you leave fluid anywhere in the body for long enough, it gets infected. So if you had fluid sitting in your gallbladder for too long, or in your sinuses, or in your actual bladder, or even in your ear, that fluid becomes stagnant and seems to get infected. And when it gets infected, infection is a bit like an abscess. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it finds the path of least resistance and goes into that cavity. So the best case scenario in that situation is for it to tear through your, actually no, the best case scenario is it'll go down the eustachian tube and just gets better. But assuming that the eustachian tube isn't opening up, the normal method for draining this fluid isn't working, it normally tears through the eardrum. It's only 3 cells thick. So it tears through the eardrum. You get all this blood and then pus pouring out of the ear. You've got tremendous pain just before then. It's just so painful. And kids get this a lot. Yeah, as a parent, you're watching your kid up all night. So like distressing for you and also your child, because you can't do anything about it. It's really, really painful. And then typically the next day, it tears through the eardrum. All this blood and pus comes out. And in about 2 or 3 days, everything seems to get better. You no longer get the pain. You just get this horrible pus coming out. And most people get really stressed at that point, but actually that's a good point. The pus is all pouring out, and that's a good thing. And then once the infection's gone, the eardrum, 98% of the time within 3 months heals up. Quicker in children, slightly slower in adults. But there are a few people who it doesn't heal up. You end up with a hole in your eardrum, so it stays open. Now, let's say we get to the situation where a doctor looks into your ear and says, you have a hole in your eardrum, and maybe we should just go ahead and fix that. Now, I've got a problem with that, because in this situation, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Because this person, lots of people have what's known as eustachian tube dysfunction, meaning that eustachian tube is not working very well. So you can't pop your ears. In a situation where you have a hole in your eardrum and you can't pop your ears, you go like this and nothing happens. You don't get that crackling sensation. if you were able to pop your ears or get air through your eustachian tube, if you tried this and you're expecting to hear a crackling noise in your ear like you normally would, you wouldn't get that. What you would do if that tube was working is you get air whistling out of your ears like in the cartoons, because it's going through into the middle ear and then out through the perforation, out into escaping out like this. So that isn't happening. If you're going like this and you can't get any air to whistle out of your ears, then I don't think it's the right thing to do to fix that hole until you fix the eustachian tube. So you have to go back one step. Just because you can see a hole doesn't mean you should just fix it. You need to work out why that perforation occurred in the first place, fix that problem, and once that's done, you can deal with the side effects of having a eustachian tube dysfunction. So what I would do in that situation is fix the eustachian tube. Either practice popping your ears and using an Otovent balloon, which I talk about in some of my other videos. If you're really desperate, you can use a eustachian tube balloon dilation, where you put a little guide wire into eustachian tube, up your nose, into the eustachian tube. You can do it while you're awake or under general anesthetic. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes. You put that guide wire in, and then you inflate a balloon inside the eustachian tube and sort of give it a clean, so that when the balloon comes out 2 minutes later, it starts working again, so you can pop your ears normally again. It works officially between 70 to sort of 80% of the time. And I'll talk about how I think I can improve the odds of that. But that's a different story altogether. The idea of this video is to explain to you that you should not fix a hole in your eardrum until you fix the eustachian tube problem in the first place. Because if you just fix the hole, then the fluid will fill up, it'll tear through the eardrum again. And tearing the eardrum repeatedly is not a good thing, because what you're doing is every time you tear the eardrum, you're going to cause scar tissue. The scar tissue makes the eardrum thicker. Your hearing isn't quite as good as it should be. And having an operation over and over again is not a good thing for your ears. Ideally, you don't need an operation at all. You just fix the eustachian tube and slowly it shrinks down and gets better. So ideally, fix the eustachian tube as quickly as possible. Pop your ears, pop your ears, pop your ears, because you wouldn't want an operation straight after infection anyway. But pop your ears, get that working straight away. So when you're ready for the operation, you can go straight ahead for it. Or if the tube is working normally, the eustachian tube is working normally, that perforation heals up quicker and you won't need an operation at all. I hope that makes sense. I've got videos on how to fix a perforation in your ear, which I'll put somewhere here. I've got videos on how to fix eustachian tube dysfunction, and hopefully you'll find those useful. Take care. Bye-bye.